On today's show, I am very excited to host Nadia Carta. She was born and raised in the beautiful island of Sardinia within Italy. In 2009, Nadia joined Google within their Dublin offices, but has stayed with the company ever since. Today, she is Google's head of data transformation within the US and is responsible for leading a team in charge of sales strategy and business development for data and tech services with WPP agencies. Nadia has always been spearheading transformative, multicultural global programs with a focus on advanced data, tech, and AI-powered ads across the US as well as EMEA. Nadia is also a successful executive coach, a TEDx and lifestyle event speaker, and a mentor and sponsor for underrepresented groups and young talent. Now in 2022, Nadia got inspired to use her energies in service of a larger mission to transform lives and corporations by kindling hearts. She then gave birth to Spark Your Zeal, a lifestyle platform and movement to radically evolve our attitudes, invigorate our spirits, and to inspire and show people how to bring the fire back into their life and their work, turning obstacles into the fuel that achieves a richer internal and external bottom line. In Nadia, you will find an inspiring companion who will energize everyone surrounding her with her bright magnetic spirit and her zeal. You will see this all throughout today's show, so enjoy the episode. Nadia, welcome to the show today.
Hi, Rebecca. Thanks for having me. Happy Friday.
Same to you. Been so excited about this for, a long time, ever since we first met on LinkedIn. You're just absolute rock star in the day job as you serve Google. And then on the side, all your other hustles that you're doing with podcasting and with coaching people, Spark Your Zeal, 99 Humans. We're going to talk about all of it today. But I want to start in where you do specialize and spend at least your 9 to 5 time. And that's around advertising and working within the advertising group at Google. Want to get your take, obviously it's a hot topic right now, around how AI is going to really impact this industry as time goes on.
Thank you for the question, Rebecca. My 9 to 5, I've been at Google for almost 15 years. This is going to be my 15. And I started in Europe, so I covered a variety of roles from sales to strategy. And then 3 years ago during the pandemic, almost 4 years ago now, I moved to New York with my family to manage a sales team in charge of data transformation. AI, as we all know, we are calling it the third big shift after the internet and the mobile. And I am extremely passionate about it. I don't say it only because I'm a guest on your podcast. People hear me talking everywhere about this work. I fundamentally believe that the way data is going to harness all of the greater impact of machine learning and all of the greater access to scalable activities is going to be incredible. And not only for companies that are large enterprise, what I'm the most amazed by is how AI is giving access to also small, medium businesses to activities that until today were probably either too expensive or too complicated or not even on site for them. And so for me, when I look at AI, I know that there's a lot of talks about what are the risks of AI. Will AI kill jobs and all of that? I actually think that by embracing AI, by learning AI, experimenting with AI, and by really trusting that with this technology, we can do pure magic, and by spreading it as wide as possible, we're all as a society be in a better place. And if we think about the healthcare industry, for example, the healthcare applications of AI are some that I'm the most passionate about. If we think about anything that can be done in the education system, or literally there's no field in the food industry, sustainability, despite the human brain being amazing, we need to admit that we do have some limitation, especially when it comes to crunching large amount of data and then gather insights from this data and business recommendations. And so that's where I see AI really, really having an impact. Clearly on the advertising space, we launched several of our products that have AI embedded, from Performance Max to AI Power Video and Broad Match and many others is all over the place. The results on all of these products are pretty incredible. And I'm not talking about results in terms of investments. I'm talking about real impact on cost per acquisition, conversions, and business impact for our clients on how they are accelerating their goals and how they're accelerating achieving their audiences. And so the only thing I can say is that being in the thick of it, I am an individual that has always been a change first person. I'm an early adopter. I When I was in high school, I did coding and programming. I was one of the first people to have internet in my town. So I am excited to learn all about it and see how can we be all players in the space and transform.
Mhm. Well, and especially the applications at the enterprise level are super impactful and exciting to overall business growth. And, massive companies can probably make small, tiny shifts and see huge results around a certain product or a certain niche. But what I love even more too is the impact at the consumer, or like the, 5-person shop company, and what AI can do to help them scale and have them have bigger impacts to their business with bigger shifts, just because they're now informed and they're getting access to the same tools that an enterprise organization does at a completely reasonable price point.
Totally. And one thing I want to stress that is for me is dear to my heart, it does require humans to harness it and use it. So whenever I hear people saying, "Oh, humans are not required," I'm like, I think that not only they are required, but we gotta better hustle and learn how to interact with it. I see it in my day to day and in my side gigs. For me, interacting with AI is really helping me being a best content creator, is helping me in having a thought partner when I'm generating new ideas. And even when it comes to very boring tasks like QuickBooks and making sure that my accounting is on track, that's where AI comes into shape, because it can help you really managing those segments of activities, and you can devote your time to what, for example, me personally love best, which is being with people and being creative. So
Mm-hmm. When we were talking earlier about the Sphere in Vegas, you're headed to Vegas here soon, and then all of Google's taking over Vegas again in, I believe, April for next. And I recently had an experience at the Sphere, which was very, very cool. If anybody gets the chance, go see postcards from Earth there. But they have these AI robots in the lobby. Like there's 3 different robots that had different experiences you could literally have in having a dialogue with these robots. But guess what was standing just to the right of every single one of them? A human. They couldn't just leave the robot there by itself. They had to have a human there to help interpret. Somebody asked a question of the AI. It didn't understand. The human there knew how to then communicate it to the robot. So I was just sitting there laughing like, this is so cool, but there still is a babysitter in the room. This robot is still ultimately a computer, and a human is going to be, at this point at least, superior in their mind and communication skills.
and it depends. I mean, probably
And the
not in this
robot.
lifetime. Maybe in 200 years from now, it will be a different word. But again, it excites me because that means, I mean, let's think about all these jobs, for example, that are very high risk for humans. Or let's think
Mhm.
about all these jobs that are depleting for our health. Like the idea that AI can possibly help in those roles and humans can be safer and doing other activities is just very exciting.
Mhm. Yeah, I think the more you think of it, scaling yourself and making you become the best version of yourself and focusing on like the elements of your work life you really like doing, then it's cool and it's powerful. Shouldn't see it as a threat. Every robot still needs a human. It's just the world we're living in right now. Maybe in the future it'll change, but right now, I think the power of AI in helping you become a better person is way more exciting than any kind of threat it could present in the future. So
I
let's
love
talk more about all the incredible other things that you do. Obviously, you're an AI and an advertising rock star, but Spark Your Zeal is your amazing platform where you're helping people really connect to themselves, learn to love themselves, and be a better impact within the world because of that. So where did that inspiration come from, and where do you see it going here in the next 10, 12 months?
Thanks for the question. So Spark Your Zeal was born from a dark place, I always say, almost like the phoenix rising from the ashes. 2 years ago, I was running from a corporate role. I mean, we all know corporate, it can be pretty daunting at times. And I didn't get a role that I was going for. And I got extremely frustrated. I mean, of course, I'm still privileged, but we all know what happens when you prepare really, really hard for something and you go for it with all your passion and your enthusiasm and everything. And then you face the reality that that opportunity is not for you. And I had a few days that I was a little distracted by the delusion, let's say, of not getting this thing. And I remember I was talking with my coach in one of our sessions. I'm a very, very big and fond of support in any form or shape, mentors, sponsors, coaches, all that I can get, I get. And so I was with my coach in a session on a Friday afternoon, and I was a little lost because I remember saying, well, if this is not the role that I will get, on the way up, what is it that I'm even doing? Like, I'm not realizing. I couldn't see more space. I couldn't see more activity. And my coach was asking me questions around which were my superpowers, classical coaching questions. What do I enjoy doing? Where do I get my energy? And how do I bring into this planet my purpose? And I remember saying to them that my anger was like fire and was a double-edged sword. I remember saying fire can either nurture something, you prepare wonderful dishes thanks to the fire that we have, or it can destroy, because fire is a force that needs to be tamed and needs to be ruled and things like that. And I said, what I know is that I have both of these forces in me. I have this passion and this energy that is really, really strong. And I remember saying, every time I enter in a room, people always say the same thing. They're saying, you are the light. And I said to them, what do I do with this? I was, in a moment when you keep reflecting and there are words that come to your brain and images. And I couldn't pinch it. I was like, they tell me that I'm the light. They tell me that after they spend time with me, they want to go and get what they want from their life, but I don't understand, what does it mean? And my coach, she was fantastic. She goes, well, you sparked their zeal. And in that moment, I remember even asking, what does it even mean? As an Italian, English is not my first language. And so it took me a moment to even digest the words. And she started saying, well, it's like when you kindle a candle, you enlighten their heart. And because of that, they are set into really going on their quest about lives and deal with whatever is going and landing their dreams. And that was the catalyst of the whole project. I really loved even the three words, spark your zeal, like the way it sounds to your mouth and everything. I was like, wow, spark your zeal, spark your zeal. And I really started living and breathing this concept. And the more I would use it, the more people would even stop me in the hallways saying, oh, I'm sparking my zeal. Or they would be like, Nadia, you sparked my zeal. It started being like a mantra, like, oh, I'm sparking my zeal. And then one day I looked at myself in the mirror and I'm like, wait a moment. Is this the idea that I was always looking for my entire life? Is this what I meant to accomplish on this planet? I'm also very spiritual. And I was like, is this my life purpose? And I was sitting in meditation and I could feel the energy really coming into my brain. And I would really feel the passion and everything was aligning. And I said, you know what? That's it. I said, I'm creating Spark Your Zeal. This is going to be the thing. And this is what I want to do more and more in life, which is transform life and corporation to generate zeal for life. And, from there, everything started lining up. And this is year 2 of the idea. I continue building. I just finished the manuscript of the 11 ways to spark your zeal. Because then people were asking me, but now that I love Spark Your Zeal, how do I do it? Like, if Nadia is not in the room, how do I spark my zeal? And so I wrote a manuscript. I wrote also another book. We're creating content. So I don't know where the journey is going to bring me, but it's a very exciting one.
Well, it's so cool that you were able to bring this zeal to other people, even though you hadn't necessarily found or sparked your own. It was in like almost a retroactive situation that by just being that to other people, your coach could pinpoint like, that's yours. And you could start to then actually take action on that and make it happen for yourself. That's pretty cool.
It truly is. Thank you. Even this morning, someone messaged me on social media. I'm very active on all social media platform, and someone messaged me, like people that, people that I don't know, people from all over the world. They send me sweet, super sweet messages. They tell me, thanks to that picture that you posted, it changed my life and it got me motivated to go and do this other thing. Or I was having someone even told me I was having a rough year. And they said that because of me constantly pouring love and energy and zeal, that helped them in getting their life together. I mean, this is just incredible. And absorbing this love and making sure that I was doing something with this love and that I was killing in it as much as possible really became my way of sparking my old zeal, because I'm definitely not perfect. I'm very far from, and I don't live with zeal every day. However, knowing that I am here with a biggest purpose and mission truly, truly fuels my heart.
You have another mantra too that I have come across as we've gotten to know each other, of turning obstacles into the fuel that achieves a richer internal and external bottom line. I just love that saying. That's so cool. What does that mean to you?
Oh, thank you for pointing that. It's funny, that title came when I did my TEDx
Okay.
3 years and a half ago. I got selected to do a TEDx in my town in Milan. And the reason why I got selected is because during a session for college students for women back in Milan, there was this group of 30 women. They asked me a lot about my life. I don't come from wealth. I come from a very, 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 very simple family. And I had to hustle. Since I was 6 years old, I had to hustle to create a life for myself, and I had to really push by all means to be able to get to college. Like everything that I eventually got in my life is because I was hustling really, really hard and manifesting and going after my dreams. Of course, I met a lot of people on my way and a lot of people that supported me and helped me. But, net, I was the one always grinding. And as I say in my TED talk, I had a very big fair share of obstacles, like things that were traumatic. Eventually, when I started doing therapy a few years ago and I started talking about it, even my therapist was like, Nadia, like those things you're talking about, they qualify as trauma. I was like, I know you're pushing them under the rug and you are going on with your life, but they qualify as trauma. And I was like, really? I thought that was no, I never was in a condition where I didn't have food on my table. I was close to it. But I had situation where one of my roommates wanted to kill me, for example, or I had situation where I escaped from the religious community I grew up with. I was the primary caregiver for my mom when she was in a terminal cancer. So, like a lot of episodes and a lot of things that could have derailed me from achieving what I wanted in my life, like a lot. I learned someone using the sentence saying that the first, let's say the first phase of my year, the first 35 years of my life, they really brought me a fair share of struggle. And so I'm hoping that now the second part of my life will be a lot easier. And so when I was thinking about Spark Your Zeal and all of it, the obstacles and that TED talk that I did year before really came to me because I said, if with zeal you can turn all of your obstacles, because you are really keeping your eyes on your goals, you're really keeping your eyes into what is life for you and what does it mean for you to overcome and achieve, that it means that those obstacles can really become fuel. Like when I grew up, when I was 15, getting out of my town and getting into college. So that obstacle of being in a situation that for me was sad, unhappy, and in struggle became my fuel. I was like, I gotta get out of here. Like I really gotta find a way to go to college and get a better situation. And so I'm definitely not saying that it's easiest. I do deal with a lot of mental challenging and mental health things as well, PMDD, anxiety, like there's a lot in there. But I do believe that with intention And with hard work and really reframing and getting control over our mindset, we can turn situations upside down and use them in our favor.
Mm-hmm. That's great. I follow a guy that I really adore too, named Tom Bilyeu, and he constantly says that even in hard times, action cures all. And so sometimes, especially because we're also addicted to dopamine hits and, false reinforcement for situations, we can just let like depression or just not really making many productive things that actually move the ball forward happen because our own mental health or situation is stopping us. But in those cases, action cures all. If you don't feel like it, keep moving, make it happen. You got to show up for work every day. Like, you don't really get excuses that you get to cash in that you just like, I'm sorry, I'm too emotional to work today. It doesn't work like that. But we
You
do
need
that
to rest.
in life. So it's crazy.
Yeah, and I love Tom. And the one thing you said that I want to piggyback is this concept of the action, right? The small action. And a lot of people, I follow all of these longevity gurus, love all of them. And everyone, the one thing in common of everyone is that it's not about the marathon that you run every day, but it's about the small action that you take every day. And the reason why it's called the Spark Your Zeal and it's not called Ignite Your Zeal or Turbocharge Your Zeal or all of it is because if I go back to the metaphor of the fire that I made earlier, when you think about a fire, the fire dims when there's no fuel. However, one spark can turn the fire big again and can make the fire thrive. And so my whole concept when I'm doing my speaking engagements, when I'm doing even my one-on-one, when I'm a guest and everywhere is, and in the 11 ways to spark your zeal, is not about the marathon. It's about that little thing, that little spark that you can access every day, and that is going to spark your zeal. And so the reason why Spark Your Zeal is a B2C company, for example, and among some of the products that I will produce and I'm producing is accessories or style and all of that, is because I purposely disseminate everywhere little sparks that I know that during the day when I'm going to walk over or see, somewhere, they're going to elevate my vibrations and they're going to remind me that I live with zeal and that I'm here for a purpose and that I want to thrive. And so I really encourage everyone to really reflect on this concept about the spark, because that's the little action, that's the little thing that will get you going every day, even in the tough days.
Very encouraging. Now, we've already talked about, 3 different areas of life that you are full steam making a huge impact. What we haven't touched on is your incredible family, your partner and your 2 kids, and just how much you pour into them. I'm curious to get your take on how important it is to spark your zeal also in that environment and balance that piece of your mission and your purpose, because obviously it's a big part of who you are and what you bring to the world. But how do you focus on that? How do you balance that with all these other incredible impacts that you're making?
Oh, thank you, Rebecca. You won't believe it, but I did more than 30 interviews between last year and the beginning of this year, and no one asked me this question. So this is gonna be a first for me answering it. Look, if someone would have asked me 10 years ago if today I would have been a mom, I'm not sure I would have knew the answer. Like, motherhood didn't come immediately to me. I grew up in a very dysfunctional family. My mom used to repeat to myself, "Don't make any children." This was the message that she had, the mantra. And so you can imagine that when I was around my 30s, I was like, yeah, I don't know. I'm very happy with my career and my life. I'm not sure. And then my husband, that is absolutely incredible, looked at me in the eyes when I was 35, I think, and he goes, "I want to have children." And I was like, "Oh, okay. I guess we gotta have the conversation now." And since then, our 2 beautiful daughters are with us. I have a 7 years old and a 4 years old. And here's the thing: I saw in them that when I am centered, when I'm sparking my zeal, when I am aligned with the things that make me happy, and when I am taking care of everything around me, I am a better mom for them. And it's funny because my daughter one day, she was journaling. So we journal together once a week, and we do vision boards. And I'm teaching them all about manifesting, and I'm teaching them all about how to get what they want and everything. And my daughter eventually was journaling, and I found that she took one of my business cards and my photo, and she did a page of her journal that said, "This is my mom. She works at Spark Your Zeal, and she's amazing." And for me, seeing that really reminded me that as a parent, my biggest responsibility is not to feed them, it's not to discipline them. I mean, yes, also, but my biggest responsibility is to be a role model for them, because they do what they see I'm doing. And so if I want them to be healthy, I need to be healthy first. If I want them to exercise, I need to exercise first. If I want them to spark their zeal, I need to spark my zeal first. And so this life principle and the overall reframing, like speaking in positive words, speaking to yourself in terms of love, very often I catch my girls telling themselves things, and I'm like, use loving words for yourself. It's important. And I can see how from a very young age is really, really critical to get into their brain with these mindsets, because I know that their life is going to be easier. Now, granted I cannot be with them forever, and I don't know what's in store for them. And the world is what it is. We all see the news and it's rough, but at least I want to make sure that I give them the tools and I give them the background for them to have a strong mindset. I call it mental fitness, so that whatever life throws at them, they are equipped to face it. So this is my parenting principle, and how Spark Your Zeal is being with them. And same with my husband, right? It's really about what are the dreams that we want to achieve. We treat our family almost like a partnership in a business, and we sit down and we say, okay, what are our dreams? We even do it at dinner. Everyone says, what is my dream that I want to accomplish? And how can each other help the other family member get it? So it's very much of a way of living, I would call it.
Inspiring. Very cool, Nadia. I love all that you're doing. And so now I just want to close with one final question, which is, what is the guiding principle that you have lived by to be successful in business?
Well, at the risk of sounding a broken record, I'm going to say spark your zeal in business too, because when I invented this also term business with grace, I cannot even tell you how many clients, sometimes they text me, they write me emails, and they call me to say, hey, you know what, let's go to dinner and let's be together, talk business, but then let's just have a great relationship. So when you are a person that you're sparking your zeal and other people's zeal with your own life and example, things will come. Business will come, projects will come, happiness, joy, love, things will come to you. I saw someone recently on LinkedIn, they were like, chase your own dreams or whatever. And I was a chaser back in the past. I want to acknowledge that. I was a big chaser. And now I don't chase anymore, Rebecca. I attract. And so that's my life mantra, is like spark your zeal, build yourself as a gorgeous garden, because you will attract more of what you want at your own terms.
Amazing. I love that advice. You're so great, Nadia. I've so enjoyed this show. I will have all the links in the show notes where people can find Spark Your Zeal, your incredible podcast, and I'm sure all the other things you're about to get your hands into will come about within very quick timing. So you're amazing. Keep it up. Excited to keep tabs on you, Nadia.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Rebecca. And thanks for all you do as well. You are equally incredible.